Toshiba's TR200 series of SATA SSDs are fast, reliable, and competitively priced. They're also the first retail SSD featuring Toshiba's 64-layer TLC 3D flash for both lower power and cost savings while maintaining top-end SATA SSD performance. The TR200 is available in capacities from 240 to 960 gigabytes and comes with a 3-year warranty, so click the sponsor link in the description to learn more.
Excellent!
What's up guys, how's it going, and welcome to Paul's Hardware. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the stuff on my shelves in the background. And if you're wondering why I'm doing this video, there's a couple reasons. First off, I'm actually leaving relatively soon to go over the Pacific Ocean to Asia. I'm actually going to be spending a little bit of time in Japan and then heading on to Taipei, Taiwan for Computex. And I have quite a bit of work to do before I leave. So today I'm going to cover a couple quick updates on projects that I have that are ongoing. And then I also tweeted out a poll earlier today asking what you wanted the content to be for today's video, since I needed something I could put together relatively quickly. The tie was between what's in the background, or what I have on my shelves here, and I've been asked this several times by multiple people on live show and otherwise, and then the other option was a cable management video. And I wasn't actually talking about cable management in a computer, I was talking about cable management for a desk and like under the desk and getting a nice clean setup and that kind of thing. Not going to be doing that video today, but I will do it in the future since people were interested in it. I had to be the tiebreaker since there was 40% vote for either choice. But let's start off with an update. How about this big old system behind me? So this is Riptide. If you didn't already see the videos on Riptide, there's a couple already in my recent videos list, so check those out. I was waiting on this power supply to arrive. This is the SF600 power supply that I needed in order to power the secondary system in here, a little mini ITX system that's going to be a FreeNAS setup. And the reason I needed this was so I could do measurements for my cables. And the cables are going to be done by Wasmods, and he's already got the measurements that I gave him. I did so by taking a length of sleeving that I already had, measuring from wherever the cable needed to go down to the plug on the power supply, either under here or back over here. This is where the secondary power supply sits for the mini system. And once I got both of those in, I was able to measure and get the measurements for the 2 8-pins up here, the 24-pin, the 2 8-pins on either of the graphics cards. Yes, I will be doing another graphics card in here. Once they're water cooled, I'll be able to fit all the stuff in there, as well as 24-pin and 8-pin for this little system down here. I've also confirmed that AlphaCool is going to be doing the water cooling stuff inside there, so I have actually been delaying on following up with them and giving them the actual list of stuff I need. Long story short, this probably isn't going to be finished until after I get back from Computex, so apologies for that. But on to this little guy. This is originally my $500 build. I recently updated it to make it a $900 build. I recently spent an hour and a half streaming from this system with this current setup for about $900, and I have one final video on this system coming up with some benchmarks and some testing, both streaming and not streaming, so stay tuned for that video. Should be up in just a couple days. So that is a pretty long intro, but let's move on to the actual meat of this video. What do I have up on my shelves here? I built these shelves. I built most of the stuff that's out here featured in garage work logs, like these are IKEA tabletops and some stands down there. I'll link to my garage work logs video if you guys want any more information on the stuff that's behind this, like my big cupboard over there and the roof rack up above. I also painted the walls, at least behind here. I didn't do everywhere. You'll notice the older, uglier gray color up there if I actually ever point the camera that direction. Added the foam sound dampening here around the edges just to provide a little bit less echo in here. And of course added the LED backlighting behind the shelves to give it a bit of pop. So I think to keep things organized here, make sure I don't forget anything, I'm going to move from right to left across the shelves. I'm going to start on the bottom and then I'll move up and then up one more time. So on the very bottom down here, Ryzen box as well as an NVIDIA box. And these were actually both sent by vendors, AMD for this one and NVIDIA for the one down there. This was to promote the Threadripper launch, so the Threadripper CPUs came in that, and it was supposed to light up when you opened it and everything. But it's also like a actual really nice Pelican case. I have not repurposed this for anything yet. I might start storing all my camera gear and stuff in there eventually. And then there's this smaller one from NVIDIA. This was from the order of 10, and this was when the 10 series of GPUs launched 2 years ago. And actually I have been using that one. I put camera gear in it whenever I need to take it on a trip and I need to put camera gear in a checked bag. I put it in there and it stays much safer. That's pretty much all there is to talk about for the bottom down here. There is a UPS over there. Over here you have keyboards, mice, soundboard. This is all stuff that I use on a very fairly regular basis, which is why it's all out and scattered about right now. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I will say that over here, these are mostly CPUs. Over here we got a few random pieces of camera gear, my Zoom H6 for audio, my LX100, which I'm using less and less now that I got my RX100 Mark V, which I'm using to record this actual video. And then of course, Arctic Panther there in the corner, getting the job done. Here's one of my mouse mats, just some shameless product placement here. I guess I should also grab that. Look, also bottle openers, cool. And then some graphics cards, the Vega 56. This is the 1080 Ti Strix from Asus that is temporarily removed from Riptide. And then this is my Aorus 1080 Ti that died. Oh no. So sad about that. And then finally my Praxis Wet Bench from Primo Chill. I've had this for quite some time. You can order these in a bunch of different colors. I have the white with gray accents. And this is a cool piece of kit. I mean, if you do a lot of outside of the box testing, not only is it pretty functional for getting a water cooling setup going, and you can remove these panels and you can remove the panel here, for example. I recently just pulled the water cooling loop off of this because I installed it in Riptide. Also, apparently I forgot to clean off my 1920X. Let's just take care of that right now. That's much prettier now. Okay, I feel better. Moving up from there though, we have my Data as Sherlock Holmes picture. I actually had one of these that I got directly from Brent Spiner at a Star Trek convention that I went to with my wife. And then this was replaced with a signed version, and I have to issue a huge apology here because this came at a fan meetup, as well as Deadpool over there, and the fan meetup was just so whirlwind that I don't remember exactly who got me the signed version of this. So I apologize for that, but I do really like my Data as Sherlock Holmes signed picture right there. Moving up here, and this is kind of tucked away. I feel like I should find a better spot for this, but this is my 100,000 subscriber YouTube plaque. Hopefully, maybe in another year-ish, gonna get the 1 million subscriber version of that. And the middle shelf actually has a bunch of awesome stuff. The Scrapyard Wars Season 5 Loser Trophy. Very, very proud of that one, even though technically we won, but we're still waiting for the courts to appeal that. This is a little Cooler Master dude that I got at Computex a couple years ago. This little box was sent by Tech Syndicate, the Tech Syndicate forums, so thanks to Tech Syndicate forums. Behind all these we have some older motherboards. So this is just an old P5ND motherboard, which I just have there because I used that board in quite a few builds back in the day. It was a really solid one. This is a classic though. This is the DFI LAN Party NF4, the Enforce 4 chipsets, socket 939. Back when AMD was kicking ass in the mid-2000s, I think around 2006 was when this board came out. This is actually when they started to be like, hey, we should make products specifically for gamers, and they made it like it's UV reactive and stuff. This is just an old random heatsink that's strapped to that for some reason. And then this board, which doesn't really have any particular claim to fame other than that it's an AM2 Plus AM3 board that handles some older CPUs and also has a built-in graphics. So I was using that to rehabilitate some old CPUs, and somehow it ended up on this shelf. Below that, stock heatsink fans. Gotta have a collection of those, including like an LGA 2011 one. And remember when Intel stock heatsink fans had a copper block this size on the bottom of it? Wow. Yeah, that was before precious metals started to cost more money. Oh wait, I'm getting these confused. This is the LGA 2011 one right here. There it is. That's a classic. And then the old school AMD one, just because it's fun. Look, I've got my lightsaber here. Ooh. It's the Force Effects one, so it makes noise when you wave it around and you know, that kind of thing. Got this for my Halloween costume this year, which was a massive hit. Here's my ukulele. I should play this more often. This is an Idlewild ukulele. It's made by Monoprice, and my wife got it for me. My wife works at Monoprice, in case you're wondering, and I like it. I can play it a little bit, although I haven't very often. This is a breast implant. Yes, my friends, you heard me right. This is an old school saline pre-filled breast implant. And back when I used to work at Newegg many years ago, I feel like in the 2006 was about, this was shipped there, and we couldn't figure out where it shipped from or who it came from. They only sent us one, not two. We discovered it's indestructible, and somehow I ended up with it over time. So I'm gonna keep this forever, and you know, if nothing else, it works as a great glorified stress ball. Next up is Deadpool in the gray outfit. I believe this is by Funko. And this was a fan gift at the fan meetup last year, and I, again, apologize for not knowing the name. I'm realizing that when I get gifts, I need to like write the name down of who gave it to me so I can offer my proper thanks. But thank you nonetheless for the gray Deadpool. He's doing a great job here in the background. Next to that is this plastic balloon animal. Somebody discovered that I have the capability to twist balloon animals and sent this. We opened it on mail time during Awesome Hardware. It's got the bones and internals of a balloon animal dog, which I thought was pretty cool. So I actually finally put that together. There's an axe up here. This is a foam axe, and this was actually from Blizzard at BlizzCon, one of the first ones I went to, which I feel like was back in 2008, maybe 2009. This was actually from the NVIDIA booth, I should say. So it wasn't technically Blizzard, it was NVIDIA at BlizzCon. It's actually pretty nice quality, although it is starting to flake and deteriorate a little bit on some parts because it's getting a little bit old, but I thought I would include that with my armory up here. Next to that is my machete, and I've had that since high school, and I used to use it to like grill with and stuff like that, so now it's just my machete in the background. We've gotten back over to computer hardware, so I'm not going to dwell too much on this. More CPUs, storage, M.2 drives right here, more SSDs. These boxes have CPU slot covers, USB drives, and SLI bridges and memory. I've labeled them so I know what's what. 3.5-inch drives, more memory, 2.5-inch drives and SSDs, an Intel NUC for some reason, old laptop and tablet that I should really figure out something better to do with. Oh look, we got an NZXT puck right there. These are all stock heatsink fans that are still in their boxes of various different types. Look! Old optical storage, old CDs, burnable CDs. I even have some actual music CDs up here, clamshells, that kind of thing. Old hard drives, 3.5-inch and older IDE drives, optical drives, more CPUs and stuff. Also the De Boer delidding kit for LGA 1155 class Intel CPUs, 1150, 1151. I actually kind of made use of this. I have a video on the back burner that I should probably follow up with about that. More random stuff, webcams, controllers. These are my Ryzen 5 and 7 2600X and 2700X boxes. That is the builds that we won Scrapyard Wars Season 5 with, or that we should have won Scrapyard Wars Season 5 with. Linus took all the useful stuff out of it, like the CPU and stuff, but I still got the motherboard and the power supply, and of course the case itself that Kyle did such a great job decorating with all of the various multicolored electrical tape. This I had to take down because I get so many random questions about it from time to time. This is Castle Grayskull. Original Castle Grayskull from when I was probably 8 years old or something like that. It still has a lot of the original stuff inside, although not everything, including the throne. It's even got the little rope on the elevator thing. You can pull that and bring the elevator up. Super awesome. I always thought this part was cool too. It's got a trap door, so you turn it's like you're sitting in the throne and your subject is here in front of you, so you just turn the throne and then they get dropped down to, I guess, one story lower or whatever. But one of the toys from my childhood, so many memories. And now we're in the home stretch. These are all graphics cards. People have noticed these many times in the past, and this is usually where I get the comments of like, what are you doing with all those graphics cards in the background? You should give them to me, they're useful. That is kind of true, but this is mostly a GPU graveyard. I have cards here that I'm either never going to use again, that I'm keeping for nostalgic purposes, or that are just straight up dead. So on the far left, the original GPUs, the two GTX 980s from the original Arctic Panther. Next to that, a couple RX 460s. They were used in SLI. I believe those still work, but the RX 460 is not a very power efficient or useful card anymore. This is an EVGA GTX 260 that I actually used for quite some time. Played lots of WoW on that one. A couple of these Twin Frozer 2 GPUs from MSI, and I have these because this was when I thought MSI did, it was doing a really good job with their coolers for one thing. These are also RX 460s, and one of these works and one of them doesn't. And since they're actually the same card, I thought, why not keep them as a pair? I had to double check these, but this is a Sapphire Vapor X 280X, so an AMD 280X, but it's bad. This is an this is an HIS IceQ X2 Radeon HD 7870. That is also bad. This is a Zotac GTX 550 Ti. This is functional, but it's older and it's not as useful anymore. This is the last thing that I bought. Should still be functional. This is the last thing that I bought, the GTX 970 at Newegg with my Newegg employee discount, which is, what was that, 10%? And actually I never got sampled any GTX 970s, so this is my only GTX 970, and it's still functional, and I keep it up here in case I need a GTX 970 on hand if I need to test something that requires 3.5 gigs of VRAM, for example. So yeah, there's that was a Zotac, I already showed you that. And then finally, an old school original RX 480. So this is actually probably worth something, but it's an engineering sample sent to me directly from AMD, and I have a very strict rule about not selling or otherwise disposing of engineering samples. I keep them forever for myself, because you're not supposed to do that. And finally, right up there in the corner is the rest of the AMD stuff. So this is the Ryzen box that they sent with the Ryzen launch, which is made of maple. This is the only one that I've kept of the different Ryzen boxes that they've sent. And actually that inside of it has a bunch of empty retail boxes for other CPUs that I broke down and smashed down, so I could still have them, but they wouldn't be stacked everywhere collecting dust. Also, my Threadripper, my 2 Threadripper boxes are up there, as well as, oh yeah, I believe the APUs, the Raven Ridge APU box is up there too. So guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. I know it's been a little off the cuff, but I get quite a few questions about what all this stuff I have arrayed in my background is. All of it came from somewhere and has some meaning, so hopefully now you guys are a little bit more familiar with that. And I'll of course continue to add to this as I get random stuff that I feel like, oh, I should keep that for a keepsake or whatever. If you enjoyed this video though, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech videos coming very soon, including that testing video of the $900 gaming and streaming PC. Should be up in just a day or two. Thanks again guys, and we'll see you next time.